Welcome to another episode of Buy, Avoid, or Wait for Sale. And in this episode, I'm talking about Deathloop. You know, that new first person shooter that all the reviewers have been given 10 out of 10 and calling it a masterpiece. So the question is this game really that good, or is it just a load of hype? So I'm going to break it down basically into what this game is. What it does really well, things I didn't like, and although I don't usually give a final score in these videos, I'll be giving it a score out of 10. As always, if you find the video useful, please remember to leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, and watch until the end of the video. Right, let's get into it. Deathloop is a first-person puzzle shooter developed by Arcane, who were behind the Dishonored series. Now, I haven't actually played any of the Dishonored games, but this game really reminds me of Hitman. Now, this may sound strange because it's a first-person shooter, but the stealth elements combined with how ridiculously stupid the NPCs can be 1 minute, but then all come together to hunt you down the next, it was really giving me some Hitman vibes. You play as Colt, who's an assassin who's trapped on the island of Blackreef, being hunted by the rival assassin Juliana, as well as an island full of murder and psychos. Colt soon realizes he's stuck in an infinite time loop where the day restarts every time he dies. And to break the loop, he needs to kill 8 targets known as visionaries before the day ends. Now let's start off by saying that 2021 seems to be the year of the time loop games. First we had Returnal, then 12 Minutes, Hades got released on consoles, and now this. So I was glad to see that Deathloop actually tackles the time loop different from the rest. The first few hours of the game is basically arcane and old and new as they guide you through the rules of this loop. To start off with, when you die, you don't immediately restart the loop. You actually have 3 lives where if you're killed, you're respawned pretty close to where you died, and you can go and collect any residium that you dropped. I'll go into residium a little bit later. Now, after the third death, the loop restarts. The day is split into 4 time periods. You got morning, noon, afternoon, and evening. Time doesn't actually advance while you're playing in one of these time periods, and when you exit an area, you advance to the next time period. Each visionary is only available at certain times of the day in certain areas, but you can advance to the next time period when you need to. And the best thing is that, once you actually unlock the ability, you're able to carry over weapons and abilities and trinkets into the next loop by infusing them with Residium. Now, Residium is an essence which can be extracted from objects around the island, and it's basically the game's currency for infusing your gear. But you find most of the Residium when you eliminate a target. You need to infuse your weapons or slabs, which is the names for the abilities, to be able to carry them into the next loop. That way, when you get killed 3 times or when you reach the end of the day, you'll restart with these weapons that you've infused or abilities that you've infused in your arsenal, ready to be equipped. When you die, you can also go to the location where you died and recover any residium that you dropped. There's a decent variety of weapons in this game, and they can all be modified. Of course, you've got your SMGs and cannons, pistols, shotguns, LMGs, rifles, and sniper rifles, which can be found in pristine or worn down condition. Pristine weapons will never jam, while worn down weapons will jam at the worst possible time and usually get you killed. You can pick up most weapons from enemies that you kill, which will just be your standard level weapons. Do some exploring and you can usually find weapons in better condition and with modifications. But the best weapons are found by killing visionaries, who usually have crazy mods on their guns. I've picked up SMGs that leech health from your victims, a rifle with bullets that explode when they hit your target, and cannon that lets off toxic smoke when hitting the target, dual pistols which can be combined to form a SMG. You can tell that the developers really had some fun when coming up with some of these weapons, and you can add trinkets to each of the weapons to add additional perks like increased accuracy, better hip fire, quicker ADS or reload speeds, increased damage range, and then there's the machete for close combat kills. If you get up close to your victim without being seen, you can press a button to perform a quick execution with the machete. Or, if they spot you, you can just hack at them, with the with the machete until it ends up doing execution anyway, like chopping their head off or whatever. If you already have a gun equipped, you can sneak up on them and just snap their neck instead. Or you can always just kick them, which comes in very useful, if they're up on a cliff or rooftop. And you've got a really useful gadget used for hacking anything with a signal. You can use it to cause a distraction, make a security camera friendly so that it doesn't call murderers to your location, and you can hack sentry turrets so they fight on your side. Very useful when you need backup, when you're being swarmed by enemies in a gunfight. Your grenade also has three functions. You can use it as a frag grenade, a proximity mine, or trip mines. And I haven't even talked about the abilities yet. Abilities in this game are known as slabs. You collect slabs from visionaries that you kill, or from Juliana when another player invades your game, but I'll talk about that later. The most valuable slab to you is Shift, which basically lets you teleport at first over a short distance, but it can be upgraded to cover a greater distance. You've got one for telekinesis, so you can toss people around with the wave of your hand, one that lets you go invisible, one that lets you link multiple enemies together, so when you kill one, you kill them all. And trust me, this is a very useful ability when you want to take out groups of enemies, without being seen. There's one that lets you take and also deal increased damage. Each of the slabs can be upgraded, and this is where I start talking about one of the first things I don't like about the game. I don't like the upgrade method. The only way to upgrade your slabs are by killing visionaries and collecting them again. This results in you having to replay the same mission over and over and over again just to get to the visionary. And to get the max level, you will have to, replay the same mission like around 5 times, without the mission changing. One of the things I liked about Returnal was the environment was always changing, so you never knew what you would find when you started a run. Having to repeat a run 5 times to upgrade, a slab got too repetitive, and I think they should have found a better upgrade method to stop it from getting boring. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you have to kill all visionaries during the space of 1 day to break the loop. Now, for you to know where they're going to be or to create situations where you can get multiple visionaries together, you actually have to do some detective work. You'll have to search, their areas and read their email, documents, and any notes you find laying around. Listen to conversations and recordings for clues, and perform certain, side missions to get them to move where you want them to later on in the day, or just so you know where they're going to be at certain times of the day. And all your progress is tracked in a journal that keeps track of all leads that you've discovered, information from notes and recordings that you found, and any visionaries that you've successfully managed to kill, and the scenario that you killed them in. So at the moment, there's a couple that I've actually managed to take down. So I know exactly where they're going to be, but there's also the opportunity to wait for them to link up with other visionaries so I can, do a multiple hit. I wasn't sure how well multiplayer would work in Deathloop, but it actually adds an additional challenge to the game. When you load the game, you have two options: break the loop or protect the loop. If you choose to protect the loop, you get to play as Juliana, and you'll get to enter another player's game, be it a friend or random player, and you get to hunt Colt down and basically ruin his day. When a player invades a game, all exits are locked, and Colt will have to hack an antenna to unlock them again so he can exit the map at the end of the mission. Juliana only has one life, so once she dies, she stays dead and you can continue on with your mission. But the invader will have to kill Colt until is 3 lives, or the remainder of the 3 lives are over. Once Juliana has been killed, the game can't be invaded by another player, and you can actually gain additional residuum from that she leaves behind. She'll also leave behind whatever slab she was carrying, which is definitely useful if you didn't have that slab or if you needed it for an upgrade. But it's only useful if you can manage to exit the area with it and infuse it for the next loop. And this is where you have a risk and reward system and the choice to make. Do you exit the area and infuse the slab and weapons you've collected from Juliana, or do you complete your mission and kill whichever visionary you are after and get whatever slab they were carrying as well? I've had so many occasions where I've killed an invading player, taken their slab and weapons, and then gotten killed by the main target I was after and lost everything. And Juliana gets access to better weapons a lot quicker. I mentioned earlier that you have to search for weapons or take them from victims when playing as Colt. For Juliana, you get new weapons just by ranking up. She's usually carrying some really good shit when you kill her. There are also additional challenges or feats which grant you extra XP to help you rank up. Things like kill Colt 3 times in one loop, or kill him with grenades, stuff like that. You can switch online mode off and not have to deal with any of this, because it can be a pain in the ass when you've completed a mission and then you have to deal with another player who's hunting you. But like I said, players invading your game adds an additional challenge. Now, as much as I'm enjoying this game, it does have its problems. I say enjoying because at the time of making this video, I haven't actually completed it yet. I'm playing on PC, and according to Steam, I've been playing for 24 hours and I have no idea how long it's going to take to actually complete this game. Now, that's not the problem. The problem is that the game keeps crashing, and that's the reason why I haven't completed it yet. I've seen other gamers post clips on Twitter from the PS5 version of NPCs just doing some goofy shit when you try to kill them. I actually wish those were the problems I've been having. Instead, the game will just wait until I'm halfway through a difficult mission, or until, even worse, until I've actually completed the mission and I'm on my way to the exit, and then it will just crash. And in Deathloop, if you don't make it to the exit, it didn't happen. At first, I thought it was just my PC, but then I found that other PC players have been having issues with the game, as it seems like, it's just not that well optimized for PC. The issues on both platforms can probably be fixed with a few patches, but I actually don't want to play it again until, it receives a few updates that hopefully fixes the issues. So now for the verdict. Is this game as good as they say it is? Is it a 10 out of 10 masterpiece? Now, from what I've played so far, I would have to give this game an 8 out of 10. Funny thing is that while I was going through the earlier sections of the game, I actually was giving it a rating of 6 out of 10. Yeah, and I thought the reviewers had been smoking some seriously strong shit that they just weren't ready for. But the more you unlock and the more challenging it gets, the more I have to rate this game. It's a grower, not a shower. It's the problems that brings the score down. Having to repeat the same missions over and over and over again to upgrade your abilities, when they could have had a much simpler option like a skill tree that you upgrade, with XP instead. I mean, I know they're trying to be different from other games, but if they're not going to change the missions that you have to replay, an upgrade tree could have stopped the upgrade process from getting boring and repetitive. But having the game crash and make you lose an hour's worth of gameplay, on a regular basis is much worse. So this leads me to the main verdict. Should you buy, avoid, or wait for sale? As much as I'm enjoying the game, the regular crashes are an issue that's ruining the experience on PC. Okay, and the fact that it was delayed for a few months and still releases with these issues is even more annoying. So my verdict has to be, wait for a sale if you're buying it on PC. The sale should be coming, in a month or so, and by then they will hopefully have fixed, the issues on PC. Or just keep checking online to see, what patches they're releasing for the game to fix the issues. If you're buying it on PS5, it's already at a reduced price. I mean, it has been since like a few months before the game was actually released. So just get the game. It's a fun game. It's challenging. The AI bugs, will likely be fixed pretty soon. It's a good game. It's a solid 8 out of 10. And let's not start acting like 8 out of 10 ain't a good score. Just get the game. It's fun. Now, if you made it this far, you probably found the video useful. So why not leave it a like, to help the video out. Also, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel and click the notification bell so you see whenever I upload a new video. Thanks for watching.